Vids, and welcome back again for another video. Welcome back to the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again for another unboxing. Yes, I'm suited up. That only means one thing, guys. It's Ghostbusting time. Are you guys ready to go? Now, as you guys know, there's a brand new movie coming out later this year in November called Ghostbusters Afterlife. It is a direct sequel to Ghostbusters 1 and 2, basically. Now, I'm not going to go into the details. You guys can check out the trailers for yourselves. They're on YouTube. If you've been living in a cave, crawl out of that cave, pull out a laptop, a computer, a cell phone, whatever you have, and check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed. Now, you guys know I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. I mean, I have a Back to the Future Proton Pack. I have other Proton Packs all over the place. The dimension is just a big mess of technology right now. So, we are going to dive into this. Now, I've already unboxed the Ghostbusters Afterlife Plasma Series action figures. The Wave 2 figures, I should say. Because Wave 1 was the original Ghostbuster figures from the first movie. You can see a couple of the originals right here on my desk. We got Ray Stands, Heart of the Ghostbusters. We got Winston, and we have Peter. We also have a Terror Dog here. Egon's up there at the top shelf, guarding over everything else, just like Harold Ramis is guarding over us right now. So, what do I have left? Well, I've already done an unbox of the previous figures. Let me show you guys. Nope, that's my Gatorade. You guys don't want to see that. So we have Trevor. And yes, he's got some little mini Stay Puffs hanging on the back of his Proton Pack. How cool is that? I'll give you guys a little bit of a, if I can re-angle that a little bit. We got Peter Venkman. Yeah, Bill Murray's gone up in the ears. Gone up in the years a little bit. We've got some gray white hair right there. Then we got Mr. Winston Zeddemore. And then we got the love interest for Trevor, at least that's what I'm guessing. We have Lucky. Yeah, and you notice she has a completely different particle stream than the others. That could be a spoiler, that could be something plot driven. We will find out when the movie comes out. And she came with this very cool accessory of the RTV, which is the remote trap vehicle. Basically, somebody took an RC truck and threw a ghost trap on it. Pretty damn genius, if you ask me. We also have some pieces for a Build-A-Figure. So, I got these 4 yesterday. I got 2 more today, guys. Those 2 that I got were Podcast and Ray Stands. So, this video is going to be for Podcast, and then after that we're going to do a separate video for Ray, and then we're going to do another separate video which is going to be assembling the Build-A-Figure, guys. So, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for this chaos and insanity? You know who to call. Let's get right on into this. We're going to set the figures off to the side. Now, right now for stands, I have a few extra of the DC Multiverse Stands. They work pretty well. I do have a few of the really small, clear Star Wars types stands. So basically, these are going to be, I mean, you can also use the NECA stands. I find that the NECA stands are pretty universal. And what I like about them is this. They're big enough that you can even put a big accessory like the, oh, if it's not going to fall. We can put big accessories on there. Obviously, that's not going to work for that one. I like using the NECA stands because, let's say we want to take the particle stream off the wand. If we wanted to, we could. We could set the accessories right on the stands, and it creates a nice, strong base for it. So what we're going to do, we're going to break into Podcast. Now, if this is your first time seeing one of the Plasma Series Wave 2, The packaging is supposed to be reminiscent of the original jumpsuits, like the one I'm wearing right now. But obviously it looks faded, worn, it looks dirty. Because, well, these have been hanging around in someone's basement for the past 30 some odd years. We get the nice cool Ghostbuster branding. Even the logo looks a little worn and beat up and faded. We like that. Podcast is his name. That's the character's name. Now, on here we got some nice little detail of schematics of Proton Pack on the other side. Now, the Wave 1 figures had the original 4 Ghostbusters. Now we have the next generation. We have Lucky, we have Podcast, we have Phoebe, and we have Trevor. Now, Phoebe is the only one of these 4 that are not part of this wave. Now, supposedly, someone had said that she's going to be an exclusive. I don't know if she's a Walmart or Target exclusive, and we don't know exactly when she's coming out. They might just hold off until the movie, which is in November, before she comes out. We don't know. Of course, we have some nice little cool caution branding right there. There you go. Very cool box art. Now, on the back of these boxes, they do give you a little synopsis, a little info onto some of the figures. Something very brief, and they put it in several different languages, so it's international. So, I will say this, guys. As far as the original 3 surviving Ghostbusters, Ray Stantz, Peter Venkman, Winston Zeddemore, you may not want to read the back of those boxes. There's not really massive spoilers, but they're a little bit of insight into their lives over the past 30 years since Ghostbusters 2. So, if you don't want to know that information, you might not want to read the back of the box. You know, I mean, if you do want to you buy the box, you buy the figures, but you just don't want to read this, slap a piece of paper over it, put a little Scotch tape on that piece of paper so you can't read what's going on until after the movie, if that's what you want to do. Some people consider it spoilers, some people don't. Now, for Podcast, this is just info. He's a new character, so obviously, with a name like Podcast, what's written on here is not really spoilery. Podcast. Sure, he calls himself Podcast. Sure, he has a podcast, but don't box him in. He also likes gadgets, battling with mini puffs, and that's it. Something very basic right there. See if we can get the camera to focus. There you go. You can pause this and read it yourself. Now, as you can see here, we have an image of the Terror Dog, or the Sentinel Terror Dog, a bigger and badder Terror Dog, and we'll do a Terror Dog comparison when we do the Build-A-Figure. These are 6 figures, part of that series. As you can see, we got Trevor, we have Podcast, we have Lucky, and then we have the surviving 3, Peter, Ray, and Winston. So let's get this open, guys. What do you say? What do you say? Let's do this. Now, these I was able to acquire at a local Target for $22.99 a piece. Not bad. I mean, a full set of 6, you're talking about $138 before tax. So, it's not bad. Could be worse. Especially with how Hasbro is cranking up the price on a lot of the Marvel stuff right now. Set the box to the side. We got a clear shield right there. Legal papers, we'll pluck them and file them. And we got a nice little schematics here. Now, the original Plasma Series figures, they gave us a look at a Proton Pack, they gave us a look at Ecto, but this Ecto is a little different. This is the Ecto that we will see in Afterlife because it has the ladder on the driver's side. The original movie, the original 2 movies, Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 1, the ladder was on the opposite side. We don't have that this time around. So we got little designs of the Neutrona one right there. And if we turn this to the side, let's see if I can go back to my main screen. Let's see if I can get that. You can see the little bit of designs for the RTV, the remote trapped vehicle right there. So pretty cool. It's those little details that really get me going. I really love it. So, first things first. I'm going to pause this. You guys don't want to hear that sound. Okay, saved you guys from the terrible, terrible sounds of bending plastic. So, we have the accessories right here. We have Podcast, And he's not wearing a traditional belt. It's almost like we took some extra fabric or even like a karate belt and just tied it around his waist. That's what we have here. Now I'm still not sure what the peg hole is for, but that might be for this little accessory we have right here. Very small accessory. Now some people have actually mentioned what this actually is. I could spoil it for you and tell you guys, but I don't want to just yet, okay? Just in case you guys want to find out naturally, I am not going to tell you what it is, but it does peg perfectly onto his waist. Now, one other thing is, all the other figures have this peg hole on their Ghostbuster style military belts. So this is something that we can actually put onto their waist if we want to, okay? What are the other accessories you might want to know? Well, we have what appears to be the remote control for the RTV, the radio or the remote trap vehicle. Now we're gonna show you guys a nice little up close of that. Let me see if we can get the camera to focus. It's not the greatest paint detail on here. Just a tan colored box with remote control. Looks like there's supposed to be, looks like tape, either tape or extra wiring that's wrapped around the corner like that. Kind of weird. We have multiple antennas. Probably one antenna is for the remote control vehicle portion of the trap, and then the other is probably to send signals for controlling the trap itself. So that's pretty cool. Now the other accessories we have, well, we got a whole bunch of melted marshmallow, and it's got a peg hole on here, so I imagine that this will actually peg right onto him. So it looks like he's just kind of like wrapped around in marshmallowy Stay Puffy goodness. Okay, we also have this. I'm trying to see if this will fit around his arm or what. So yeah, it looks like it can fit around his arm. Not too great, but somewhat. Don't know if it'll fit around the other hand a little better. I'm not exactly sure how this goes. Well, we have this little kind of a cuff, little loop of marshmallow meltiness. And then we actually have one little mini puff that is actually in one solid form. Almost like he's shaking a fist at little podcast. Now, if you guys notice, this does look reminiscent of the Ecto goggles, but this is the new version that we see in the very first trailer of Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'll just show you guys right there. We have the extra accessories. Now, if you really can't make out what all that is, give me just a moment, guys, and I will actually show you what it is up close. So I said I would show you guys what this is supposed to look like up close. This is what it's supposed to look like up close. Now this is a Spirit Ecto goggles that are heavily modified. There is a manufacturer, well, I shouldn't say manufacturer, but someone who makes customized 3D kits to help improve your Ghostbuster gear, Spirit Ghostbuster gear and whatnot, to make it look as authentic as possible. His name is Doug K through gbfans.com, but he also has his own store on eBay known as Spongeface McGee. So this is supposed to look like the original goggles, but with some little added extras. We have a flash, because this is a built-in camera. So whatever you happen to be spectral analyzing, you will turn this on, and whatever you're viewing through the spectral graphs right here, you can actually take a picture and scan, and it'll print out like a Polaroid right there. So that's a pretty cool upgrade from the original. Now I actually repainted mine. to make it more of an olive look, more military-esque. This one looks much cleaner. I have another one that's a little bit more beat up, but that's more GB1, Ghostbuster 1 style, so nice little mod I have. Wish I could take all the credit. I just drilled the holes and assembled the pieces onto it. Nothing too crazy. There we go. That's a better hat. More comfortable. You wonder why. So, let's get back to podcast here. So, he does not come with a Proton Pack, but he is our tech guy. He is the guy that is working the trap. He can hold the trap pretty easy. The same kind of hinges that you'd see on the other figures. Now, he does have a peg hole on here for this little marshmallow accessory. But let's get a little creative, guys. What do I mean by that? Let's pull the pack off of Trevor and see just how well it'll fit on podcast, just in case he ever did have to suit up. Now, Trevor has his own little stash of mini puffs. So we're going to unpeg that. We're going to put the arms up. Slide that right off. At least as best as we can. And there we go. So, let's take the remote control off. Let's see if we can slide this right on over. And yes, I do get that a Proton Pack is not a toy. Tell that to everyone who suits up. Or who happens to build a few packs themselves. So, oh well. So yeah, it fits him pretty good. It looks pretty big on him though. Compared to, let's say, Winston. Yeah, there is a big height difference. But the pack does fit on podcast. I'm sure if he blasted it, he'd probably go flying himself. So it is a thing you could do. Let's give him the goggles. Let's see how well can we fit the goggles on his head even. Because there's this little weird kind of tension strap right there. So there might be a little bit of stretching. I don't want to stretch the rubber on here really. Okay, so no, we can yeah, we can get the goggles on him pretty well. There you go. Of course, he's got a big coif, so that could be why there's this big loop right there. So, yes, he does have a lot of hair. Now, as far as the wands going on the pack, they do go on the pack. It's just this little hose on here. It's a little bit stiff. So, I'm sure a little bit of heat might soften it up a little bit. Or if you just play around with it a little bit, it'll just stick out kind of heavy like that, which doesn't look that natural, at least in my opinion, guys. But there we go. We got him suited up, packed up, if you will. Now let's try this. Will the marshmallows for podcast fit on anyone? Let's try and put them on Trev. I'll plug it right into Trevor's back. I don't see why it shouldn't work, but I'm going to try that out. Yes, it goes right on, and it fits on pretty decently. And it hangs a little high, but you know, it is what it is because it actually contorts, it wraps around the torso. I think it looks a little better on podcast than it does on Trevor here. Let's try this little copper loop. It does kind of fit around the wrist right there if you want. I'm not a big fan of this little piece right here. But, I mean, it's a thing you can do. It is an option you can do, guys. So, pretty cool figure, I gotta say, guys. Now, for those who are fans of the 2016 Answer the Call, it looks like the way the tag is kind of on there. Let me see if I can get you guys to focus a little bit. It's got the khaki background. It just looks like he's sewn his own name directly into the suit itself, because the kids do not have nameplates on their suits. We see that on the box. Podcast has a name tag. Phoebe has a name tag for Spengler, but Trevor and Lucky do not. So that's a little something different. But I really do like this figure. Now, even with the suit, can we peg this little item? Because I don't want to tell people what it is. Those who know, those who want to know, if you really want to know, you can actually message me either on my email at davesdimension78@gmail.com, or you can message me at Instagram at davesdimension. And I will actually tell you what it is if you really want to know. Now, for those that don't, that's why I'm not going to tell you. Because you want little fun stuff. You want to learn stuff during the movie itself. That's part of the whole movie experience. Nowadays, trailers, people on social media spoil the hell out of everything. I don't want to do that to you guys. Of course, we got Podcast. He's not wearing military boots. He's rocking some sneakers. I don't know. Those look like some kind of funky airwalks or something. I'm not sure what that is. But we're going to take the pack off of him. We're going to give him his proper look. I say proper because he doesn't come with the Proton Pack. He comes with his marshmallowy goodness wrapped all over him. I'm pretty much thinking that him and the marshmallows are pretty much like Venkman and Slimer. You know, getting slimed all the time. So, that's what I'm feeling off of that vibe. Let's put this back on his waist. And like I said, there is a peg hole on all the figures there. So, if he's not going to wear this, let's see, will it peg onto Trevor? No, it doesn't seem to want to go on Trevor. But it's a little odd that there is a peg hole there, and there's a peg hole on all the figures. But it seems that this item, this skull-like item, only fits on him. This looks pretty damn cool, too, up close. Don't you guys think? It's a little skull thing. That's all I will describe it with. I know exactly what it is. I'm not going to spoil it. I do love that they have the connector for the leg hose right on the suits. I really love that. That looks pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Indeed. We'll put the remote control back in his hand. And we can even have it where he's holding one of the little puffs right there. Now, I really don't know what this is supposed to be for or how this is supposed to go on him. I'm going to have to look at some photos online to see that, to figure out where and how we want to position that on him. Of course, he's got peg holes on both of his feet. I'm going through a few of my extra stands here because I want to get him standing with the others. There we go. Now it seems like this little belt item keeps popping off. If yours keeps popping off, you might want to hit it just with a dab of maybe, I'd hate to say rubber cement, but just a dab of it so it stays on there permanently. that could be a thing you do. I can just put that little melty piece right there. And there we go. We got podcast in all of his glory. You know, he doesn't have to have the goggles all the way down, but I think he looks cool with the goggles on. That's just me, guys. Why do I say that? Because when I'm at Ghostbusting events, I like to wear my goggles. I like to wear them right on my head. That's just me. So, there we are. Kind of a quick review. I apologize if I rambled on, guys. Very cool, awesome item. He's one of the smaller guys, but hey, small guys can still bust ghosts. There's no height requirement. He's definitely a major go on this, guys. You don't want to miss out on him. You can get these figures at Target, or at least right now at Target. Who knows? Walmart may be popping up with them. They did have the regular Plasma series last year. We'll see what happens. But definitely, it's an awesome series. I can't wait to do the final unbox of Mr. Raymond Stands, or I should say Dr. Raymond Stands, the Heart of the Ghostbusters. Can't wait to do that, so then we can also proceed with the Build-A-Figure. Now, on podcast, we had the torso of the Build-A-Figure right there. I have no idea why he's got a butt block right there. I think that has to do with the component inside. You see kind of a squareness right there. So, I don't know. That's just kind of weird and unsightly. It's weird. I mean, but how many times are you going to have the Sentinel Terror Dog's butt sticking out? I don't know. It's just something weird. I'm going to reach out to a few people who I know also got these figures to see if they had the same weirdness to it or not. But there we are, guys. That's the end of the video. I want to thank you guys for checking out the channel. Thank you for checking out Dave's Dimension. As always, I want you guys to go down to the video description below and hit up our YouTube warriors. Those are other YouTubers, just everyday people like you and me, who make some amazing content. I just want to thank you guys for checking out the channel. And as always, guys, you know, guys, if you want to be safe, keep on busting. We'll catch you on the flip side.